Hey guys, this is Gaijin Hunter here with part 3 of my Let's Play through of Soul Sacrifice Delta in English. This episode I'm very excited for because we get to meet one of my favorite characters in the game, and her story is wonderful. Okay, so let's go in here and I will give you a quick refresher where we were if you haven't, if it's been some time between these things that you haven't seen them. But we did last time unlock the shop, which we can enter here. To either buy outfits, we can buy some rumors, which will sort of buff our, the quest. It's almost like a meal skill. We can trade offerings that we have to get random ones as well, and this guide is just there. We also had the whole lore book, which we're not going to go through, and we have, of course, our character, and we've unlocked the right arm, the black rights, and everything else. Last time I did break this, so I will spend the lacrima in order to fix that. So we're all good there. Got a lot of new spells, but I'm not going to really use them. And you want to know why? Because we're about to switch factions. I keep saying fraction. But if we go over to faction, you can see here, changing your faction affiliation. The effects of saving, sacrificing, and the results of completing pacts change according to your faction's beliefs. So as we know, we are a member of Avalon. Then Avalon believes that you should sacrifice all monsters, and may our sins heal the world. Scoring basis is around sacrificing. So if you sacrifice, that's what restores 2 castings of each of your spells. So you can keep using your spells over and over again. And if you decide to save, it'll actually restore some health. If we go over here to the one where... Oh, we can't change to it until we... Never mind, we can't change it. We're going to find out what this is all about. That is today. And the next episode after that will be Grim. So we are Avalon. There's nothing we can do because we have not been admitted into the other organization, which is what we're going to do today. So let's go into our sorceress deeds and go over to Sanctuarium, the best faction. And we are going to go in and do the Heretic Saviour, which is Sympatha. I love how you can like almost glimpse down here below what you can actually see. Okay, let's jump in and enjoy her story.
We're partners for this ordeal, it seems.
Her name was Sympatha. Suddenly, I had a partner again, and we were tasked with chasing monsters. The problem was, it reminded me of the ordeal. The sorcerer's ordeal, which ended in my sacrificing Sortiara. And once again, the whims of fate have partnered me with a woman. But this ordeal was different in one key respect. This time we don't kill, we save. This ordeal forces us to break the sorcerer's code. We were blocked by a herd of monsters. Sympatha spoke.
Our dedication to mercy is already being tested.
Okay, Phantom Quest, so let's go over and read about the fairies. What does a bee need to become a queen? Luck. Luck is not a talent one is blessed with, nor does it come from blood and sweat. Luck is simply only good or bad. Equal possibilities are laid out for every bee the moment they are released as the clutch of eggs. Only the larva that gets the royal jelly can be a queen. All larvae have the right to be the queen. There is no definitive reason for the choice. It is a selection so unfair, one would hesitate to express it as even terms of luck. The worker bees are born from the eggs that did not become the queen, and all female. As if to prove their inferiority to the queen, they are robbed of the ability to reproduce from birth. This appears also to be the fault of the food they were given. Though born as females, they are deprived of the prime function as such, an inescapable destiny. Yet there is a story of certain bees who would not accept this gulf in fortune. They could never show their resentment. It was a perfect authoritarian society in a sense. Even should a worker bee have its doubts, it would never be able to gain a concrete understanding of its feelings. The self-awareness of a worker bee is so meager that the sparks of desire would only ever smolder. They lived under an absolute monarchy. It would be impossible to break down the relationship between lord and vassal, were it not for sorcery, that is. The bees desired for a fairer society. By accident, they came in contact with magic. Their smoldering egos grew fat and beckoned to be made flesh. A group of bees that would break the rules of the society emerged amongst the worker bees who had only ever accepted the absolute rule of the queen. An ordinary worker would always take the nectar it found back to the nest. That was the instinct driven into their kind. Yet bees who kept the nectar they found themselves started to appear. These worker bees grew bigger than the worker bees before them, and they began to think in specific and exact terms. The intellect they had just been gained to make it possible, the ability to think about emotions they had only felt vaguely. Resentment towards their oppression and the thirst for freedom has always lingered formlessly in their minds. It was clear what must be done. The bees came to the logical answer: a change in the society and the toppling of the current authorities. Revolution. Those worker bees gathered together their allies of the same mind. The queen bee had countless underlings. It was obvious that they could not win by numbers alone, so the bees worked over their plan together. Their intellect came from having kept more nectar to themselves and gaining more nutrition than before. The queen herself was bigger than the others because of her special diet. The inequality in the bees' diets was the key to their inequality in their society. After all, they were all born from identical eggs. Having come to this conclusion, the bees started to invade people's homes in search of even more special foods. That is when they witnessed the intelligence of mankind. Having become intelligent and gaining clarity themselves, the bees were shocked at just how clever the humans were. The bees created their own weaponry and armor, patterned after those of humans. And with that, one bee gained the strength of hundreds. Equipped for battle, the bees headed to the nest ruled over by the queen. They were as a rebel army surrounding the castle of their would-be ruler. The war began. It was a battle for power. Until that point, the only animal that killed its own kind in this way had been man. Most animals live to be cogs in the machine that maintains the survival of their race. They are trapped in a kind of restraint that prevents them from evading the roles that they have been assigned. Their bloated egos and desires shattered that cage. The rebellion was over with the death of the queen, the symbol of oppression. A new task awaited the rebel army. The growth of their self-importance and desire had brought about the destruction of the old system and would bring the creation of a new world. They had to establish a new society for their kind, where the kind of equality that the worker bees had dreamt would flourish. To this end, they needed a new leader to replace the queen bee. Every worker bee that took part in the rebellion was thinking the same thing. They all thought that they were the one that should become the new queen. Ego and desire can never be contained. Once they have budded, they will continue to swell uncontrollably. Yet, it was far too barbaric to claim the leadership by force. They did not kill the queen simply to replace her. It was because they had pursued their ideals. The most appropriate solution they thought of was majority vote. It's important to remember that the worker bees were female. As a result of the growth of their self-awareness and desire, their repressed female instincts had been awakened. The female bee that had gathered the most males would be a fitting new queen. They would compete not through violence, but with their attractiveness to other bees. That reflected the ideal society of which bees had dreamt. None of the other bees had objected to the idea. To gather more male bees, they needed to be alluring, for example in the way that the queen would be when she released her pheromones. They had to give off the most charm, and the bees believed that they could do so by consuming living creatures who had it. It was a change in diet that had first changed their fortunes after all. The bees attacked human females to consume their allure and make it their own. Though they may have seen violence as barbaric once they gained intelligence, they only thought it such when it was directed towards their own kind. It is much the same as how humans would kill livestock for their food without hesitation. Having become intelligent, the bees became cruel to other creatures. They became fairies. That was what the bees who had revolted and planned a new society were called. It seems that perhaps the bees have taken a leaf from the annals of human history to guide their progress. Ooh, that hits hard. That hits really hard. Makes you do some inner reflection, doesn't it, as a human? Okay, so we got Falcon Feather as reward, which is good, so we can level that up. healing seed, which is a area of effect healing one, which is great, and 2 faction rewards. And for this one, we are acting on behalf of Sanctuarium, so we should be getting different faction rewards, which are spears, and that I love. Let's do this. If I overcome this test, I'll be allowed to join the organization. Its name is not one to be bandied about, however. Sometimes when the world is still and quiet, I can hear it. The voice of Sortiara coming from my right arm. Rage, sadness, hate. What dread emotion grips her soul? What is it that gives voice to her wordless cries? The feels, man. The feels. I'm going to go ahead and let these scenes play out since they are new areas. It's like the Valley of the Fairies.
I shall save this impure world.
I love her voice. It's so good. So Sympatha is Sanctuarium. So, well, she's with me. We're both on this test. But I believe she has some healing. So she wants us, obviously, and we want to save these creatures. That is the mission. We do not want to kill. Whoops. If you step on one of those things of air, it'll blow you over to the next area. So let's get back. I'm not a fan of all these melee weapons. I want to get my spears. Joining Sanctuarium. Salvation renews offering strength. Sanctuarium sorcerers gain the following effects: sacrifice to enhance magic, and salvation to restore offering. So you get some additional attack, I think, if you sacrifice, and then you get you restore your spells when you save. When I did my first playthrough, I actually did a no-kill playthrough. I just decided I'm not killing anything, and I went just pure 99 levels of life and 1 level of magic. It always bothered me having that 1 level, because I always thought of it kind of poetically that that was the sin of killing my partner Sortiara. Like, I can't get rid of that, and that's why the game forces me to have 1. I can never be 100. At least that's how I interpreted it. Let's take a gander. I keep forgetting to collect these orbs. Let's not do that. Whee! Yeah, so for the mobs, I mean, you can have more fun. I'm just jamming on a button, just doing regular attacks here. But this is a great, way for you to try out new spells, try out new combinations of stuff. So definitely have fun with these. Would you stop it, Narcilla? Have some fun with your spells and get used to them, because you'll never know which ones you'll really fall in love with. These bombs are hard, though. Oh! Is that a dunk? I think it was. Seth would be proud of me. Gotta save them all. Hashtag save them all. Woo! Oh, there we go. Fairies. Question is, are they attractive? Can't tell. They move around too fast. Oh, they're not bad looking. They keep disappearing on me, though. This is where the lock-on comes in handy.
Was there really no salvation for that beast?
Counter madness. I'm a mad lad. With all my countering. I mean, it's actually a combo. It's not really a counter, but, Who's keeping track, right? Boom. There we go. And we are done. We shall save the kitty cat. You want to see the kitty cat? Isn't it cute? Go on. Run along now. Run along. Cutie pie. Just disappears. I guess it went to heaven. I don't know. Good job. First rate. Alright, finally some Sanctuarium rewards. There's two major types of spells that Sanctuarium uses. One is called Blitz. This is like a forward dash, and you'll just like bash into the enemy, and you can just spam this thing. It's really fun. So strong Stonebird Pinion. Veil the body in rock and perform an aerial blitz, chainable on hit. So you just do it over and over again. 40 power, stone type, cast 10. And my favorite, spears. I keep calling them lances on Twitter, so if you see me say lance, I mean spear. Shock Rock Edge. Conjure a sparking spear to repeatedly impale foes. Power 40, element volt. Lasts for a minute, and I get 5 casts. I like it. And we got another Falcon Feather, so I could probably use that to boost the one I currently have. This thing, though, is awesome. So this sigil, cursed part sigil 1. So look at this. Ill cursed part attack damage. This is like part breaker. Plus 20% damage to breakable parts. And an additional 10% if we're using Divine Arm 2, which just means that there's a big enough gap between our life and our magic that it becomes level 2. So good.
Sympatha must really want to earn high marks on this. We forged ahead without resting. Sanctuarium was a secret society. The enigmatic group's mission was to save any and all monsters. Their code was never kill friends, never kill monsters. They rejected sacrifice and served to save all forms of life. Sanctuarium attracts some of the most idiosyncratic sorcerers among us, and is rumored to be rapidly expanding its ranks. A long line of sorcerers wait for their chance to take the ordeal offered by Sanctuarium. Sympatha and I were two such people. While we were resting, Sympatha pulled out a book.
This is by Lenixian. Have you read it?
Lenixian was the leader of Sanctuarium. Sympatha decided to join Sanctuarium after reading Lenixian's manifesto. Sympatha had a close friend, a man that she fully trusted. She'd been wounded in battle. Facing the beast, her friend panicked and tried to sacrifice her. Sympatha barely escaped with her life, and has since questioned the way of the sorcerer.
What about you? Why join Sanctuarium?
Without answering, I rose to my feet, ready for battle. We were surrounded by monsters.
I feel really bad for Sympatha. Like, can you imagine being on a quest with your friend and they get all like panicky and then they just try to kill you so they can get stronger to win the battle? It's like, how disposable can you be? But I guess that was what happens when, you know, sorcerers are trained to just kill. So blame Avalon's code for that one. So let's go over to this one and let's change our offerings. I don't want to be using a pitchfork anymore. I want to switch this over to the feather boost, and I will take off this homing one and put on a spear. We still got some wind. Sure, why not? But let me move it so that the bomb's over here, because I'm going to need the bomb. Mole Claw. Nah, I think I'm going to use the Phoenix Feather. So let's boost this one fast. Oh, I can't boost it because this is a level 1 star and this is a no star. So I need to get another one in order to boost it. So, but the Falcon Feather goes really well with melee and spear weapons because when you have it active, not only do you dash really fast, but if you have this weapon, if you're holding down X and you press the attack button, you'll do like a really fast, powerful attack that does, I think it's 1.87 times damage. You could just spam it to death. It's boring to watch, but it works really good when you're up against sorcerers. So later in the story, I will put that to use. Is there anything else in here that I want to put on? I mean, we could put a roar spell in here just to show it off to you guys because we haven't seen it yet. So let's do that. Okay. Let's make sure we have the right sigils on, because remember we had that part breaker. We want to put this on for sure. We've got all these amp stuffs going on here. Evasion magic extend. What do I need for that? Oh, I have it already. Okay. Or I can do shield magic. I'm not using a shield, so I may as well use this. And then for this one, I'll use the heal. I'm not using weapon magic or arm magic, so that's okay. And the defense boost, this is delicious. It's 20% and 15% because I'm using Divine Arm. And let's check out the new arm we got. What does it look like at least? The Arm of the Merciful. Okay. Here's our Carnatux. There's our arm from him. The Arm of the Miser. So that's great. So this is Carnatux's will. Looks like him. And this is Sympatha's will. So we get the same type of arm that she has. So let's put that on and get our defense amp. No, actually, you know what? I don't want defense. I'll grab the attack and be Sortiara. Do you have anything new up here? Nah. Okay, so I think we're good to go. Black rights, we only got one. Everything else is looking good. Let's do this. So I gotta read the story of Minotaur. This is a very good one. Minotaur. There was once a land that was ruled by a young duke. He was known for his beautiful green eyes and insatiable carnal appetite. A palace maid had become the latest in a long string of liaisons. The maid became pregnant, but didn't dare inform the duke. After all, the duchess was a deeply jealous woman, and the maid felt sure that this revolution could only lead to a terrible fate. When her daughter was born, she had the same beautiful green eyes as her father, a feature passed down through the duke's family for generations. The child's first 5 years passed uneventfully, but then something terrible happened. The duke and the duchess learnt of her existence. Now, though the mother was lowly, the girl had noble blood. Her existence could never be publicly acknowledged, but disposing of her was out of the question. Thus the girl with her father's eyes was snatched from her low-born mother and held captive in a hidden castle. The castle had long been abandoned, and its interior resembled a maze. The girl was kept under observation at all times by men who called themselves her guards. To hide the eyes that would have revealed her lineage, the girl was forced to wear an iron mask. 2 horns protruded from the top, giving its wearer a distinctly sinister appearance. The girl dreamed of being reunited with her mother. Even as she did so, the hatred she felt towards the Duke and the Duchess intensified. Just as this hatred swelled to a crescendo, the girl heard a distant voice. "Do you wish to leave this place?" She nodded. The disembodied voice went on. "Shall I give you the power to escape then?" The girl used the mysterious power given to her to escape the castle. She took off the iron mask, exposing her beautiful green eyes to the sun and bathing her face in its warmth. Though the sheer joy of this moment threatened to overwhelm the girl, no tears were shed. After all, there were things that she needed to do. Setting out in search of her mother, the girl eventually managed to discover her whereabouts, a lonely convent. Finally, they would meet again. Unfortunately, it would not be a happy reunion, and would cause more resentment than ever. Her mother had changed. She was extremely thin, with sunken cheeks and hair that fell in clumps. Not appearing to see the girl, she simply intoned her daughter's name, her face contorted in a vacant, half-crazed smile. She had lost her mind. The girl took her mother's frail body in her arms and fought back the tears. Now was no time for crying. It was time for revenge. The girl took the iron mask she had been forced to wear for so long and placed it over her face once more. It would serve to remind her of the reason she sought revenge. Mask in place, the girl commenced her investigations. It transpired that the Duchess, not satisfied with taking her daughter away from her, also subjected the girl's mother to terrible abuse, all while her father, the Duke, feigned ignorance. The years of suffering had cost her mother her sanity. The girl stayed with her mother at the convent, attending her every need. She felt for sure she would eventually get a response. This was not to be, however. Her mother didn't even know she was there. After a while, the girl gave up. Whatever she is, she's no longer human. Just then, the same voice heard in the castle came once more, from a strange chalice that emitted a curious white light. "Do you want to make them pay for what they did to your mother?" The girl nodded. "Then you shall have to give me something, the most valuable thing you have," the voice said. The girl did not have any possessions. Indeed, there was only one thing she valued in the whole world: her mother. She wasted no time in accepting the chalice's proposal. She would need its power if she wanted to get revenge. Her face swelled and distorted, fusing with the iron mask that covered it. Within seconds, the once beautiful girl was grotesque. Her mother, sacrificed to gain her new power, became a giant axe with a warped blade. She didn't even notice as her humanity seeped away from her forever. She just smiled, intoning her daughter's name over and over and over. The girl set off for the Duke's palace, giant matriarchal axe in her hands. After an arduous journey, she arrived at her destination. It goes without saying that the revenge exacted upon the Duke and Duchess was brutal. The girl's hatred, however, did not ease. Indeed, she felt more defeated than ever. As she gazed down upon the giant axe that was stained red with blood, the girl had a dawning realization. All she ever wanted was an ordinary family, to know how it felt to have a mother and a father who loved her. A simple wish, but one that would never be realized. The sound of her mother's crazed laughter emanating from the axe was a painful proof of that. Hatred, anger, envy. The monster that the girl became now roams the land to this day, consumed by these emotions with no one left to direct them towards. Attacking happy families is now her sole comfort. Still, she will never be satisfied. Her despondency is a maze with no exit. Such is the life she now leads. Her desire for revenge never sated, she weeps in harmony with her mother's crazed laughter. What a sad story. I feel so bad for her. This is one of the more unique hunts, in my opinion, because what happens, and you'll see this when we start the quest, the Minotaur's axe will heal her like a ridiculous amount of health. So it ends up like you just keep fighting the monster and it just won't die. And that's because she keeps using her axe to heal herself. So you have to knock that axe out of her hands by attacking her. And then wherever the axe falls, you have to go quick run over and attack the axe, which if I can get a good shot, you can see it looks like her mother, and break it so that she can't use it to heal herself. We don't have the spells probably to do it, but you can break her mask as well. We'll try, but I don't know if we'll be able to do it. Let's do this. Sympatha looked so sincere when she spoke about Lenixion. She was just like a child.
I shall save this impure world.
Yes, we shall. So let me go ahead and activate the Phoenix Feather. I'll show you what this roar looks like really fast. Ah! It's a radius steam, so I gotta get closer. Boom! Send him flying, huh? Get out of my face! And you can see we can zip around really fast, which is great. What I want to do is use this with my new spear. So check it out. It's like a lance.
Monsters too
And
deserve
we can do that by holding down and we get the swift thrust. This scene's super powerful.
Monsters too deserve compassion.
And you can spam it. Okay, I think we're ready to do this. Oh, you poor girl. So see, she's using the axe to heal herself, so let's use the bomb to try to knock it out of her hand. Oh, where did it go? Sympatha did it?
This monster. We must bring it
Where
to
did it
heel.
go? Oh, in here. So I'm just going to try to show you the face if I can. You see the face? Yeah, you see the face of the mother? It's the gaping mouth open. It's upside down. It's so sad. I'm sorry, Mama, but I gotta hurt you. So I attacked it, but I did not destroy it. So she's gonna run away, and she's gonna use it to heal. Stop it! Put that thing down. Put the axe down. Jump somewhere? Does she still have it? Oh, she still has it. So we can try to bait her by getting in front of her. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. Oh, okay. We destroyed Mother Axe. Why, Mother? Why? Oh, I feel so bad. Why won't you tell me? Did someone do this to you? Yeah, her mother couldn't answer any of her questions. Oh, let's support spell. Let's get that back. What can we break? So we can break the mask. The problem is the mask, you have to hit it at an angle.
We must retreat.
It can be very hard to do if you don't have high ground. Let's charge the spear and see what it does. Yeah, so this one does like a long sort of shot. So if we had a way to get up higher, which we'll get later on in the game, we'd be able to just smack the mask right off.
Salvation is at hand for this beast.
So she's red. She's almost gone. Okay. Yeah, these are meant to be pretty easy quests. The game gets really a lot more challenging later on, which is nice. But it's not a very hard game, I would say, to clear. But it does require some grind at the very end. But I'll walk you through how to do that very easily. I'm sorry. See, this is why I recommend reading the stories before you fight these scenes, because it gives you a lot of context behind who they are.
Save me. Find you. Be so sad.
Don't worry, I gotcha. Sympatha, I don't know where she is. She's off collecting riches? I don't know. Oh, she was right behind me. Okay. Sorry, dead rat. I want to grab this really fast. Ooh, we got the plus. Minotaur Life Essence Plus. That's nice. That's the end. I'm happy it's not like a full 60 seconds or whatever. That would be pretty torturous. Saved. Okay, so we get a stone spear. Good. We get a poison or venom type blitz. Okay. We get a volt type arrow. So this launches a flurry of thunderstones to strike one or more enemies down. So this is a throwing spell. I think I'll use that. I like that. And then for her, we did get the mask. So we did not get her club, which is like the Minotaur's club. It's really powerful. We got the mask instead. I think in order to get the claw, we have to break all the parts. So we have to break the mask off her face. It's kind of weird, right? Because we didn't break the mask, but we got the mask, right? So it's not always like 1 for 1. But they'll have 2 spells that we can get. One is just for beating them and breaking parts. And the other one is either a very rare drop that you can get, even if you didn't break all the parts. Or I think it's either guaranteed or very close to guaranteed if you break all the parts. So this is a area of effect, large area, 2 cast only, 120 recovery duration for 5 seconds. We can, of course, boost those so that they last longer. We get more casts. Oh, wow. Okay, lots of sigils. Whoa. Slush Sigil 1, freeze recovery. Vendetta, scapegoat recover. We'll have to read that one. And we got Gaudentia.
All was quiet again. We took turns on lookout duty. One kept watch, the other rested. While Sympatha was on guard, I thumbed the copy of the book by Nixian that she had lent me. Pages devoted to the denunciation of the foul practice of sacrificial absorption. Save men and monsters alike. Reject the practice of sacrifice and consign it to our past. Let us build a utopia, excluding all tarnished, undeserving souls. I closed the book, packing it away. The concept seemed oversimplified and extreme. Idealism has its place, but something felt strange. Sanctuarium was created by Lenixion. Lenixion openly broke the Sorcerer's code. He is viewed as a monster by sorcerers. Edicts have circulated that order his assassination. Despite his widespread infamy, he has proven elusive, and even his physical appearance is unknown. Until now. I caught rumor of an ordeal being held by Sanctuarium. If I can get inside, arranging to meet Lenixion would be easy. My goal is to assassinate Lenixion. Sympatha stirred, bringing me back to the real world. Before long, we faced monsters again.
Okay, Salvation Pact against the Miserly Goblins in Valhalla Abbey Cloisters. So this is just another type of goblin. We've already read the lore on them, so we're not going to read anything there. Let's go to the Arm Yourself and put on some new sigils, maybe some new spells to try out. They did give us a stone thing. This is just a mob, so I'm not going to worry too much about elemental stuff. We're not that far in the game where it really makes a huge difference. We've already established I suck at using bombs, so let's go ahead and switch that over to an arrow to boost a few of these things that we do have multiples of. Okay, I think we are good. Do we want to keep the Harpy Scream on, or do we want to swap it out? It probably doesn't matter, but we could have some fun with the Jack-o'-lantern. Right arm, let's quick check out which sigils we got. We got a bunch. So this is the hard thing I'm trying to find the right lingo for. You can unlock a sigil, which means that you're able to obtain it. But in order to actually be able to use it, you do need to have specific essence. So for example, we got really lucky. We got the rare drop, so we got the Minotaur Life Essence Plus. But if we fought the monster again, and we most likely would just get the regular Life Essence, we would get a sigil that would reduce our damage from heat attacks, which is really nice. Petrify Recover, what do we need for that? 3 Little Pigs Soul Essence and 4 Grave Spike Goblin Essences for life. So this is pretty neat though. Like, you can go in here and you can start planning out what you want to hunt and what you want to unlock. And the game is really good about unlocking sigils at a very good pace and a very good time. When it comes to these ones here, that you always unlock the first one of a spell just by using it once. So we will get the where is it? The Spear Magic Amp, the Puncture Sigil 1. We unlock the ability to earn this thing just by using a spear once. And then beyond that, it's just how many times you've used a spear and your intelligence level. So intelligence level only goes up as you collect new spells, which means that you're progressing in the game. And obviously, using the weapon naturally, you'll get more proficient at it, which is why you unlock better ones. I can't use it though. What do I need? I need gnomes. Life essences from gnomes. Okay, well, I don't know why I don't have those. It's probably because I didn't save something I should have. But that's fine. Okay. I think we're good to go. Let's go get the goblins. If I manage to make it inside, it shouldn't be too difficult to find a chance to kill Anixion. This has been my goal since deciding to take the test. You devious little bastard, you. I like this map.
I shall save this impure world.
So let me show you off the blitz, which is this thing here. And we'll just start blitzing these guys to death. You can see we can do multiple in a row. It's not that powerful. You do have to level these things up in order to get more power, because they're not killing stuff in just one hit. It would be too powerful. Here are the arms. It's just basically like a shooting game. It's almost like Panzer Dragoon. Phew, locked on, ready to go. Let me make sure I actually save these things and get some essences. I'm gonna need them, so that's misery. Y'all give misery? Oops. Oh, they're using the mole attack, if you notice. It's that one where you go underground and you come up on above. I'm actually going to sacrifice a few. I just want to get... Oh! I'm not allowed to sacrifice. I forgot. This is a test for Sanctuarium. I have to save everything. They don't believe in ever sacrificing. I failed the test. Okay, well, that's a first. It's like killing a monster in a capture quest. I guess that only happens during this story, because anytime you have full choice. But this says, code be damned, save this monster. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Okay, since I am wasting some time, I'm going to skip all this, and I'm just going to spam kill these guys using that wonderful Phoenix Feather, and let's use Jack-o'-lantern. That'll be fun. Boom! Oof, that's gotta hurt. Don't interrupt me when I'm casting. Bowling! Did I just get a strike? I think I did. Here's that awesome heal. Will you Oh, he's so rude. How dare you? Huh?
Even in the heat of
Falling. Oh, do I actually have to save them, or I just kill them? I'll save them though. We can use the levels. That, and I want to get the Divine Arm level 2, so we can activate those extra abilities. That'd be nice. One thing I like to do, if you want, here's a trick, if you want to unlock sigils faster, don't break them, but use it, turn it off, summon it, because it'll be restored at the end of the hunt. There we go. And now we've got a bunch of uses out of it. And if you keep doing that after a few quests, you'll get the ability to unlock, or at least know what you need to get in order to get like Sigil 2. You can just skip Sigil 1 if you want. Like when Sigil 2 comes, that's it. Like you can just grab that instead. What do we get? So we got a Volt Blitz. We got a Heat Blitz. No new spears. Come on, man. We got the Volt Blanket. This is a terrain type spell. And we've got a fruit spell. So this is Arboreal. This will create a tree, and then we can go and take the fruit from the tree, and eat it to heal ourselves by quite a huge amount, actually. 390. It's nice. Yeah, so it says we're inquiring info on sigils, so we're not unlocking them, we're acquiring the info on them. I just wish the game had a guide that says how to acquire the info on sigils, because some of them have some interesting unlock conditions. But that's what I guess I'm here for. I'll probably do a video someday of all the or probably all of them, and just quickly go through how to unlock everything. My intelligence has now gone up to 4. Good.
After she was betrayed by her only friend, she lost the ability to trust. Sympatha will tell you, humans are tarnished. Under the aegis of Linixian, Sanctuarium will cleanse the world of human impurities. Sympatha tells me that she has chosen to dedicate her very life to this higher calling.
You must feel the same, I think.
Sympatha assumed that we were kindred spirits. We were different as night and day. I had sacrificed Sortiara as a stepping stone. Things have never been the same. If Sortiara had lived on, would she be like Sympatha? We now finally faced our target. If we could save this creature, then we would pass the ordeal. The air was thick with a sinister haze. Sympatha looked around, but did not think to look behind. The beast lurched from the shadows and struck Sympatha into the air. The great beast turned on me next. Near death, Sympatha's eyes met mine.
I don't want you to die.
It was permission to absorb her in sacrifice.
Take my life, so that you may keep yours. I
replied without thought. I cannot. Sympatha reminded me of Sultiara. That had been an experience that I could not repeat.
Okay, things are getting heavy. Now we're going up against Pegasus. This is in Lake Andromeda East. Let's go ahead and read up the lore on Pegasus. Pegasus. There was once a farm that harbored a terrible secret. Countless sets of wax and wings could be seen strewn all over. The master of the farm was said to possess mysterious powers, these wings the result of sinister experiments. Apparently none but he could manipulate the wax and wings, but then one day he simply vanished. The result of this was the farm lay abandoned. Some ventured into there hoping to steal the wings, but no sooner did they touch them than the wax seared the flesh from their bones. One day, a bedraggled and desperate man made his way to the farm. Despite his appearance, he had once been a mighty king's most trusted courtier. But at the same time, he had burned with his own fierce ambition. He plotted and schemed, dreaming of disposing the king and taking his place. When the king's son and their heir died in a tragic accident, the ruler was inconsolable. His master distracted, the courtier seized his chance and set plans in motion. One of his schemes involved the abandoned farm. Since all who dwelt nearby were terrified of the sinister farm, the courtier thought that by dealing with it once and for all, he could win the people's hearts. This one tragic mistake was about to bring the misfortune that followed. The kingdom's troops rallied to the courtier's cry, but none who marched onto the farm returned alive. The dark power of that enchanted wax had doubtless proved too much. Yet terrified of appearing weak, the courtier persisted in his plan. The tally of victims grew grimmer, and the courtier was held responsible for the tragedy. Coming under close scrutiny, his treacherous schemes unraveled. He knew that this would mean death, so he fled before he could be captured. The courtier traveled to the corners of the land, desperate to evade his pursuers. Finally, with the irony not lost on him, he was left with one last place to turn, the abandoned farm. He knew better than anyone the danger that posed by that enchanted wax and the wings formed from it. But as soon as he laid eyes on the wings, his fear was all forgotten. He desired only to make them his own. With the power of flight, he could no longer have to fear those who hunted him, yet he knew he was apt to lose this life the instant he touched them. As he pondered the path he should take, his pursuers drew closer. Knowing he was trapped, he steeled himself to take the wings. The king's forces combed the farm, certain the quarry was close. Then, just as the courtier reached with his hands towards the pale wings, he let out a small cry. A sharp pain shot from the nape of his neck. It looked like he'd been bitten by an insect. Though the pain had been slight, his howl was enough to alert the pursuers of his presence. As he reached again for the wings, he felt a heavy blow strike him between the shoulder blades. As his consciousness grew dim, the courtier saw a strange glow. A chalice floated in midair, emitting a white light. It spoke to him. Irresistibly drawn to that voice, he obeyed its every word. The wings melted, the wax running over the body of the courtier as he lay prone. His wish had been granted and he took flight. His pursuers gazed agog. It was only then that he became aware of his transfiguration. He gazed down at his form and saw that he was no longer that of a human. A thick, pale substance oozed over his flesh, and he was sprouted enormous wings. When he finally saw his own face, he wondered if its insectoid shape had come from that of the fly that had bitten him before. Whatever he was now, it was neither man nor beast. With his pale fluid dripping from him, he looked as though he were fashioned from wax. No longer a creature of flesh and blood, but reborn as a lurid tallow. This was the price the courtier had paid. The king tried again and again to vanquish the foul creature, but to no avail. Some traces of the courtier's star remained post-transformation. The desire to dispose the king and take his place burned still now within the creature's breast. Believing itself the ruler of all it surveys, this monstrosity looks down on the world with haughty contempt. To this day, it soars through the kingdom's skies, ever hunting. Da-da-da-da. I don't feel that bad for this monster. I don't actually want to save him. I mean, he just wanted to take over the kingdom, right? Can we use any rumors, maybe? So I don't want to stock too many. Let's get an experience boost at least. And we will... That's all we can do. That's good enough. Let's relive this phantom quest. I carried Sympatha to a sheltered spot. She is not some stranger to be murdered without remorse. Though our time together on this journey was short, I will not throw it away. Good on you. Ah, we're back here. This is the first map we were in when we were with Sortiara. I recognize it. We're alone on this one. No! Okay, I'm just going to go straight for the boss. I'm not going to worry about anything else but the boss. Get him on feather. It's the fly. Certainly looks like it, doesn't it? Wow, okay, well, we've just hummied it. We just nailed it. So we can't move. Well, that's boring, so let's not do that. At least we know what works really well against him. Oh, he's weak to thunder, okay. Let me show you how that works with the feather, and how you can do it multiple times. Sorry, I keep moving the camera around. The camera is so zoomed in on this game that when you move it around, it can create kind of a motion sickness. So I'll try my best not to do it, but it is actually one part of the game that I could say I could fault and say is a legitimate complaint that someone may have. I'm used to it, but some people are not, especially because the action is so fast-paced. What parts does this thing still have? Oh man, it still has tons of parts to break. I'm not gonna worry about it. Let's just kill it. Oh no, it is gone. We've rid the beast. Ow! So we thought. That hurt. Charge! I'm gonna charge him a laser! That's some juicy damage, probably. The range on this spears is just fantastic. It looks like I wouldn't be able to hit it, but nope, I'm good. Oh, we killed it. What a nasty beast. I think they purposely gave you an arc fiend that you don't necessarily want to save, because that's what's going to test our...
I don't want such an ugly death.
Oh, I can kill you in a very pretty way. I should... God. See, they're giving you a guy that you don't want to save. And I think that's the test, right? Like, if you can forgive this monster and hopefully he can then redeem himself in life and help others, that could be a good thing. Or he can just go back to his old ways. We don't know. But we won't know if we don't give him the chance. Fine, you bastard. I'll save you. Just to be frank, I'm only doing this so I can pass the ordeal so I can kill the leader. Okay, so let's use this time wisely to pick up one of these. Oh, we got the plus for him. Nice. Streamer luck, even though I'm not streaming. Ah, it's over. Saved. Only second rate because we didn't do stuff like, you know, we didn't save a lot of things. We didn't do any combos, you know, break all the parts, stuff like that. So we got the elementless spear, which works on everybody. And we got another healing seed, which is nice. Okay, so we have unlocked Sanctuarium faction now available, so I'll be able to actually swap to it for normal quest later on, which is nice. And we got some more new sigils. One is shock resistance, the counter shock, and the other one is the carnage sigil. This is more of a grim thing with a neutral arm. This is for throwing magic, so things that you throw, like books and pens. No, I'm joking. Magic. Aaron, yeah, you will not be repaying my kindness anytime soon, my friend. Go bugger off.
I struggled to catch my breath, and Sympatha nonchalantly rose to her feet and dusted herself off.
You pass.
It was evident that her injuries were just scratches. Now it made sense. I was being tested. Sympatha had been acting all along. Sympatha. Otherwise known as Linyxian, leader of Sanctuarium. She had come out to take part in the ordeal, to size up the new initiates for herself. By not resorting to sacrifice, I passed the test.
Well, what now? Aren't you going to kill me?
She saw right through me. She told me that she faces assassins on a regular basis. I shook my head. Enough. This was enough. I couldn't kill her anymore. From that moment, she always made me think of Sortiara.
You're a strange one. I thought you'd come here for me.
She smiled as she said it, the first natural smile that I'd seen.
You know, I think I like you.
Sanctuarium's leader was born to play her role. I felt it in the gentleness of her smile as it soothed my weary body.
We will speak again someday, as friends who journeyed together.
The journal's author was an Avalon sorcerer. That was the one constant. The journal demonstrates this fact. But don't forget, I am a book. I could change the sorcerer's affiliation. If you want, I could change Avalon to some other organization. Perhaps you ought to ask yourself, what do you really believe?
Let's grab some tears that we have built up. Let's talk to him. It's been a while.
You're not the only one who wants to be presentable. I like to look my best. Look at me. Completely exposed to the world. It's embarrassing, really.
And one more time for good measure.
How many of the prisoners got away? None, you poor sap. Now stop dreaming and get back to business.
Time is ticking. Yeah, so now we're able to go into the factions and we can change over to Sanctuarium. Unto all life, salvation. Unto every creature, mercy. Scoring bases, results favor salvation. Sacrificing will enhance your magic, and saving will restore offerings. Very cool. We can switch to it. It only requires 5 lacrima right now, which is good. It gets a little bit more expensive later. And basically any quest that we go on once we unlock the free quests, which we'll unlock once we do this one, which is the next episode, we can go as any faction we want. It just changes whether you want to sacrifice, save, or leave it up to chance. Flip of a coin for the gods to decide. Cool. Well, that was very fun. We got a bunch of new sigils, a lot of new spells, and we got to meet Sympatha, which I absolutely adore. In next episode, we'll be meeting my other favorite character, and we'll unlock the ability to equip NPCs, open up the main story with Magusar, and open up all the free quests. We're going to have so much to do. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below what you're thinking so far of this story. Have you played the game before? Is this your first exposure to it? I'd love to know your thoughts. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, happy saving.